In this session, we will introduce the concept of dictionaries in Python. Now, a dictionary in Python is actually a mapping between a set of keys to a set of values. Now, it consists of key-value pair. So you can see each data entered into dictionary should be of this form. You should have a key, then you should have colon, and after that, you should have the value which is stored for this key. So this pair of key and value is called as an item inside dictionary. When you create a dictionary, you should always make sure that the key value that you enter into the dictionary should be unique, which means the same key value you should not repeat in another place. And the key value that you use should be of immutable data type, like a number, a string, or a tuple. So now you understand all data types are immutable data type except two different things, right? Except list and dictionary, which we are learning now. So this point essentially means that a key value should not be either a list or another dictionary. Now the item in the dictionary are not ordered, which means you store a student record as the first record, but when you print it back from the dictionary, maybe that student will be printed as the second student or as the third student. So dictionary doesn't preserve the order in which you make the entries into it. Now the items in the dictionary, items means a key value pair in the dictionary, are separated by comma and are enclosed by curly brackets. So now we have a sample dictionary. The name of the dictionary variable is called dict1, and on the right side you can see I have created a dictionary. Now how do you understand it's a dictionary? You can see it starts and ends with a curly bracket, and now the data that you enter into dictionary 1 are in pairs. You can see this is Sam and 95 together. So this is called as an item, and the first value before the colon is called as key, and the second data item after the colon is called as value. Okay, so that is why we have studied you have to enter an item into dictionary as key followed by colon then value. So in this dictionary you have three items. So the first item belongs to Sam, second item belongs to Sita, and the third item belongs to Said. So now let us continue. So if you want to create an empty dictionary, there are two different ways. The first method is this. You can write the variable name dict1. After that, you just have to give a blank and empty dictionary inside two curly brackets. Alright, so this will create a blank dictionary or an empty dictionary called dict1. You can also create an empty dictionary by the second method. Okay, so we have the variable dict2. Now I'm creating a blank dictionary using built-in function. Okay, so the name of the function is dict, and after that, as it is a function, always will use a round bracket. Now in the third statement, we are creating a dictionary with some values inside it. Okay, so this we have already seen in the previous slide. So we have created a new dictionary called dict3, and it has three items inside it. The first item belongs to Sam, second item is Sita, the third item is Said. And if you check the third item, Said is actually the key and 92 is the value associated with this key. So now let us continue. Now here we are going to study how you can access items inside a dictionary. Now when we study string, list, and tuple, you remember you can access individual elements inside those sequence by using the index numbers. Alright, so if you want to access the first element in list 1, you can write list 1 and inside square bracket you can give 0. So this will pick the value available at index value 0 and give it to you for processing. Here in dictionary, we don't have the concept of index values. We access the value by using the key, which is the first element in an item. Okay, so now let us see how it is done. Keys are used to access items in a dictionary rather than their relative position or index. So you should understand with dictionary, we don't have the concept of index value. Each key is actually seen as the index that maps to a value. So if you want to represent this dictionary in another way, just to make you understand, okay, so this is just an example, you can consider it like this: 97, 95, and 90, and you can see the value Sam, Sita and Said are the key value with which you can access this 97, 95 and 90. So if you want to learn this dictionary with a similar concept of a tuple or a list, and you assume that this key value like the index value, you should understand this is completely hypothetical. I am using this as an example to make you understand this thing very clearly, right? So just consider this key value like your index, and using this key value Sam, you can access 97. Using this key value Sita, you can access 95. Using this key value Said, you can access value 90 stored inside it. Conceptually, you understand the index value of dict1 are the key values. So now if you want to access this value 95, how you can do that? So here you have to give dict1 inside square bracket. Don't use curly bracket here. So you already know that a list works with square bracket, a tuple works with round bracket, a dictionary works with curly bracket. Whether it is a list, whether it is tuple, or whether it's a dictionary, if you are trying to access individual elements from it, you have to work with either index value or the key. In that case, always you have to use the square bracket, whether you are working with list, tuple or dictionary. For example, if this is list 1, tuple 1 and dict 1, if you want to access the first element in list 1, you have to give list 1 in square bracket index value 0. If you want to access the first element in tuple 1, you have to give tuple 1 in square bracket index 0. You see, even though tuple actually uses a rounded bracket, when you work on index value, always you have to give square bracket. Now if you are working on dictionary 1, and if you want to access the first element, you don't write 0 over here. So that is what I told you, dictionary doesn't have the concept of index value. You have to write the key in here for the first value stored inside dictionary. So assume that if the first value is Sam colon 97, then you have to write Sam inside square bracket. So here also we have the concept of square bracket for accessing elements inside dictionary, and this will return value 97 because that is the value attached to Sam. So now if you want to access this 95, you have to give dict1 in square bracket, you have to write the key Sita, and as this is a string, you have to write it inside single quotes. Okay, so don't forget that. So this will return the value stored for this key Sita. So 95 will be printed out. Now if you try to access dict1 by using John, and you can see there is no key inside dict1 with this value John. So in that case you will get an error saying key error John, because we tried to identify the key called John inside dict1 and we could not find it. So that is why we are getting this error. Alright, so now let us continue. Now in this program we will study how you can access and how you can change the value inside a dictionary. Now we already studied there are only two data types which are mutable, which means you can change after you have created it. One is list, which we have studied in the previous chapter. The other one is dictionary. So in here, in this program, we will try to show the content of dictionary can be changed after its creation. So let us see how we can do that. In the first statement, you can see I am creating a new dictionary called dict1 with the values given on the right side, Sam, Sita and Samir with their respective marks. Now, if you want to add a new key value pair, which means a new item to dictionary, you can do that. Now in the next statement, I am going to add a new key John with value 88. So if you write dict1 inside square bracket, you give a new key value called John. You can see John is not there inside the dictionary. So now you are trying to insert John colon 88. So when this statement executes, now what happens in the dictionary? It will put a comma. It will add a fourth item with John as key and 88 as its value, and then here the dictionary will stop. After that, when I print dict1, you can see dict1 now has 4 items inside it: Sam, Sita, Samir and John with their respective marks. So this is how you can include a new item into an existing dictionary. Now sometimes you might have to change only a value inside dictionary. You don't have to add a new item. In that case, what we can do? Right now Sita is having marks 95. I want to change it to 96.5. So how can I do that? So it's very easy. You just have to write dict1 with key Sita and you put equal to and give the new value that you want to store for this key. So now as dictionary is mutable, dictionary doesn't have any problem changing the data. It will remove 95 for Sita and it will write 96.5 in that place. After that, when you print dict1 again, you can see Sam 97, Sita 96.5, Samir 90 and John 88 will be printed out. So now let me run this. So now the program is ready. I'll just run it. You can see the first print statement. I am printing it over here. I have added new item John 88 into dict1, and after that when I print dict1, you can see now the first print statement is printing, and you can see that as last element John 88 is entered into the dictionary. I am trying to change the value stored for key Sita. Right now you can see the value for Sita is 95. I want to change it to 96.5. So this statement will do that. When I print dict1, you can see now the value for Sita is changed to 96.5. So now let us continue. Now in this program, we will learn how to work with membership operation with dictionary with in and not in. We already have studied in and not in with tuple and with list, so this is going to be the same thing. First statement of the program, I have created a dictionary called dict1 with the same set of values. Okay, Sam, Sita and Said with their marks. Inside the first print statement, you can see I have given the key value Sam and I am checking whether this key Sam is available in dict1. You can see Sam is available. So this will print the result as true. Now the next print statement, I'm trying to see whether key value John is available in dict1. You can see if I go through the entire dictionary, you can see there is no John present inside this dictionary. So the in membership function will return false. Now, as I have told you before, in and not in works on the reverse logic, right? So wherever you get true in, it is going to be false for not in. Okay, so now in the third print statement, I am checking whether Sam is not inside dictionary 1. But you can see Sam is actually there. So this will return false. The last print statement is checking whether John is not in dictionary 1, which is true, because if you check dictionary 1, you will not find John. So this will return true. So now let us run this. So now let me execute it. You can see here the first print statement is returning true because Sam is there inside the dictionary. The second print statement is returning false because John could not be found inside dictionary. Now after that I have printed some stars just to separate the output of in and not in. After that I am checking whether Sam is not in dictionary but it is actually there. So this will return false. And next I am checking whether John is not in dictionary. That is true because John is actually not in dictionaries. So now let us continue. In this program we will study how to traverse a dictionary or how to read one item after another from an existing dictionary. So this program will demonstrate dictionary traversal using for loop, and actually in this program we have used 2 different methods to traverse the same dictionary. So in the output you will see the element of dictionary printed twice. So first I have created my dictionary called dict1. You can give any name over here, it is just a variable name. And after that I have created my dictionary with 3 student records inside it. So in the first method for loop, we can see the control variable is the key, and the value of this key should be taken from dict1. And after that I will be printing key followed by colon, and after that I will print the value available at this key. So now let me write the variables that I am going to use. I will write key and I will also write dict1 and in bracket what you should have here is the value of the key. So now when I get the value, I will write it over here. So now we can see in dict1 I have 3 student record. So the for loop will select the first item, which is Sam 97, and it will load the key. You can see here the key is Sam, okay, and 97 is the value. So now the key will be loaded into this control variable key. So right now the value of key is Sam, okay, and here I have my output. So now I will print key. So Sam will be printed onto the output, and after that I will print a colon. So colon will be printed, and after that I will try to print dict1 of key. So dict1, so what is the value of key now? Sam. So dict1 of key is dict1 of Sam. So now what is dict1 of Sam? That is this value, right? So now 97 will be printed. So now you see I have just printed the first item to the output. Now for loop will proceed to the next key value in the dictionary, and Sita will be loaded into key. So right now the value of key is Sita, and inside the for loop I will print the value of key, okay. So now Sita will be printed with a colon, then dict1 of Sita. So right now it is not Sam. Inside the square bracket I have Sita. Now what is dict1 of Sita? That is the value associated with key Sita. So 95. So now 95 will be printed. Now again the last time the for loop will take the last key element, Saith, and load it into key. Okay. So now in the output Saith will be printed, colon 90, and the for loop will stop. So this is the first method. So now we will see the second method. Now here you can see in this for loop there are two control variables, key and value, and in here I am calling an inbuilt function items on dict1 to collect one full item from dictionary at one time. So this function dict1.item will select the first item from dict1. So item, as you remember, is actually this complete pair. Sam and 97 is actually item 1 inside this dictionary. Sita 95 is item 2. Saith 90 is item 3. So now you can see dict1.item will take the first item as one unit. The key Sam will be loaded into variable key, and 97 value will be loaded into variable value. And now inside for loop it's very easy. You just have to print key. So Sam will be printed, then you will print a colon. See, you don't have to print this colon. I'm just printing this colon so that in the output will match as it is stored inside the dictionary. It's not necessary that always you have to put a colon between these two values. So now you are printing Sam, and after that colon, and after that you are printing the value 97. Okay, so now the control will come back to 4 again. Now dict1.item will select the second item from dictionary. So now Sita will be loaded into key, 95 will be loaded into value, and after that you will print the key. So now Sita will be printed with colon, and after that 95 will be printed. Control will go back to 4 again. Dict1.item will select the last item from dict1, that is your dictionary. Now Saith will be loaded into key, and 90 will be loaded into value, and that will be printed out. So now it's a choice. You can either use the first method or the second method to access individual items from dictionary and work on the value that is stored inside it. Okay, so now let us run this. Alright, so our program is ready, so let me run it. So here you can see the first method has collected all the items from dictionary, Sam, Sita and Saith, and it has printed out. The second method also collected the same records from the dictionary. Okay, and if I change this quotes to star, then it will just, the output will just change here. You can see now it is printing star between them. So that is why I told you it is not mandatory that you always have to use a colon in between them. So that will be all for this video session. In the next session we will be studying about the built-in function for dictionary. See you there. Bye.